I am not going to bury the lead here. If you own an iPhone, the Apple Watch Series 5 is by far the best smartwatch you can put on your wrist right now. But let's get this straight. If you own an Apple Watch Series 4, there are very few reasons to upgrade to the Series 5. One of the major ones, however, you're looking at right now. It's the first time the Apple Watch has had an always-on display. And what that means is whenever you glance at your watch, instead of seeing a black screen, you see this, the time. Revolutionary, I know, but it's a big thing for wearing a smartwatch. Nobody wants to look down at a black screen. We want to see the time. It is, after all, the main reason we wear a watch. Of course, we've seen always-on displays before. Wear OS does it, for example. But what Apple does here is barely change the watch face that you see when the watch is active and the always-on display. So here you've got the outline of your clock, and when you tap it, it gets brighter and colours come in. And that's the same for pretty much all of the other watch faces. A particular favourite for the transition between always on and active is the gradient display. So it's beautiful when active. And this sweeping motion here for the second hand, really fantastic. And then just watch as the display fades in to the always on display, which we'll do in just a second. And you get this wonderful motion as it sweeps round, just a subtle shadow. It really looks fantastic. As always, Apple has thought about the design and made it beautiful. The design though has not changed over the Apple Watch Series 4. So you have this larger visual screen than you did on the Series 3, giving you a lot more space to look at on the screen, and that also applies to notifications. When you slide those in, you have a lot more viewing space on the screen. The body itself is also slimmer than the Series 3 and also comes in this space grey. The version you're looking at here is made of aluminium. It's the cheapest version that you can get, but Apple also makes a stainless steel, a titanium and a ceramic version. And they go up considerably in price to well over $1,000 if you want the expensive ceramic version. The difference is, well, they are going to be more durable and you certainly get a really wonderful tactility. However, you will have to know that personally because visually there really is very little difference. If you want to spend it, great, but the ownership experience is exactly the same as you'll get with the standard aluminium version that you see here. Is there anything else new on the Series 5? There's a few different apps which are unique to the Series 5. The first one is noise, and this is a continuation of Apple's absolute commitment to health tracking. And this gives you an idea of how loud the room is and the environment is around you. Apple says that, of course, long-term exposure to very loud noises can damage your hearing. And should the noise around you go over about 100 decibels, the Apple Watch will tell you and suggest maybe it's time to leave such a loud area. And we've not experienced that completely yet, but as you can see, it's actually it's probably very accurate. We had this under a hand dryer and that reached 100 decibel level easily. So it definitely works. What's interesting here is also how the ambient display works with apps that work in the background. So the noise app is working at the moment, and because the display has gone to sleep because I wasn't interacting with it, you get this blurred out view and the time in the top corner, and you just give it another tap to reactivate the app. Another nice advantage of watchOS 6, which is installed on the Series 5. So if the always-on display is the main reason you want to upgrade from an Apple Watch Series 4, what are the reasons you should buy an Apple Watch in the first place? Well, I'm calling it the best smartwatch because it's easily the most well-rounded, comprehensive and easily usable smartwatch, and it does absolutely everything that we want it to do, which many others promise but never quite deliver. The Apple Watch just does everything you could possibly need a wearable device to do without any fuss. And that's what really is the key to a wearable we want to wear every day. So what do we mean by this? Well, let's talk about fitness tracking and health monitoring first. It's not just a step counter. The Apple Watch has a comprehensive system of workout tracking, so it will track everything from running to rowing to indoor cycling to elliptical machines. So pretty much whatever your regular exercise routine is, the Apple Watch will track it for you. It's got a heart rate sensor on the back, and that will run continuously, so it'll give you a good overview of your general health throughout the day. The Series 5, like the Series 4, has an ECG on board, so holding the digital crown will activate the ECG within the app and you'll get electrocardiogram. Now this isn't something that regular people want to use very often, because it is for people who perhaps have a history of heart problems. But what it can do is alert you if you're unaware of that. The list goes on. There's workout tracking. There are little apps that remind you to stand up during the day, remind you to take a breath. The noise app you've already seen. There's so many ways that the Apple Watch makes sure you stay healthy. And then even better is the way it displays all that data that it collects. You can see some of it on the watch, but it's far more impressive on the iPhone itself. All of the data that's collected from your watch is stored in two areas on your iPhone. The activity app here, which gives you a collated series of information based on your activity. And then if you come out of that, you also have the Apple Health app, which pulls in health data from a variety of different places and different products. And all of this comes together to give you a fantastic view of your health and fitness. It's easy to use, it's simple, and it's well presented. And it makes us want to wear the Apple Watch. I often mention wearability when I review a smartwatch. And Apple, well, it just does it right. What do I mean by wearability? I mean, when you put it on, it just feels right, and not just about the size and the weight, although this is a very, very good example of what a smartwatch should feel like on your wrist. But it actually comes down to the software. It's so incredibly easy to use. It doesn't stutter, there's no annoying pauses. Even when you decide to use an app that requires data from your phone, it works quickly. This is the non-cellular version, so this uses data taken from my phone. As you saw there, it's quick. It works when I ask it to, and it's really very effective indeed. Even with this map system here, this is pulling GPS data from my watch and data from my phone, and you can see that it works quickly, it works smoothly, and that's really what we want from the smartwatch. Slick software, a heart rate monitor, fitness tracking, an ECG, and an always-on display. So what's the battery life? 10 minutes? No. Although it hasn't changed from the Apple Watch Series 4, I'm still getting a day to a day and a half of regular use with notifications coming through and using fitness tracking with the heart rate monitor active during the day. And a day and a half isn't too bad. The charging is also really fast. Approximately an hour will take you from almost empty to completely full, so even if you have forgotten to charge it, you can quickly top it up. The Apple Watch Series 5 is close to perfection. I love the way it looks, I love the way it operates, the build quality is fantastic, and even if you choose the aluminium version, it feels higher quality than almost any other smartwatch you can buy. No, there's no sleep tracking, which is a bit of a pain because others can do it. But if you had sleep tracking, when would you charge a watch that only lasts a day? You'd have to find some other time. So at the moment, I don't feel personally it's a major omission. The price, well, it's quite high. You have to spend $400 for the 42mm aluminium model or $430 for the 44mm version you see here. If you want a flashy material, well, you're going to have to spend more than $700, potentially in the thousands if you want the designer Hermes version or a ceramic model, but there's no need. Just get the aluminium model, put it on your wrist, pair it with your iPhone, and you'll be wearing the very best smartwatch you can buy today.